Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Something Saturday where we just talk about all the things we didn't get to talk about the rest of the week. We do have something to talk about though. Conflicting reports continue to come out as to whether Gal Gadot will be Wonder Woman or not. And I previously chimed in on this, but with all the conflicting reports, I thought we would revisit this again. So let's jump right into it. I previously talked about this situation with Gal Gadot and how it was plausible that she was getting her own movie and kind of talked about the things that were said in the past. Now, a lot of people have come out since then talking about how this isn't going to happen. Now, you can argue a lot of points here. You can first off argue the fact that these interviews for her new movie were taken 4 or 5 months ago, maybe, at that. But I don't think they were taken quite that long ago. She did, however, state that she didn't know who was going to play Superman. So this is something that she actually said. She didn't know who was going to play Superman at the time. Now, this was pre-writer strike stuff, obviously. So people have begun to wonder if, in fact, things changed and she's not going to get her own Wonder Woman movie down the road. Now, that's the key right there that I want you to remember, down the road. Because James Gunn has gone on record as saying a lot of things. And one of the biggest things that he has said in the past has to do with existing characters coming back. Because the focus of the new movies is going to be on rebuilding this universe. It's going to be on rebuilding things that we know exist and new things that we didn't know. So, of course, eventually we are going to get an Aquaman. We are going to get a Wonder Woman. We are going to get a Flash eventually. But let's use the Flash as an example because I think this is the biggest example we've seen. Ezra Miller got into a bit of trouble and they couldn't be the Flash in the upcoming movies right away at all, even if they wanted them to be. So what happens? Well, James Gunn had said that's fine because we have no plans to make a Flash movie right away. That's the thing. There are no plans currently to make a Flash movie. But we all know the Flash is a big part of the DCU and will eventually be back. Now, in this particular case, he will not be played by Ezra Miller. And the reason is obvious. Ezra Miller is a risk. At best, Ezra Miller is a risk. As far as I know, they still have a lot of criminal stuff going on. But in the case of Wonder Woman, you have to look at what he previously said and understand that what he previously said about Wonder Woman and Batman and some of the others is that they will not be right away. Now, Batman's going to come a little bit earlier, but Aquaman and Wonder Woman will come a little bit later. Now, is part of this because the Aquaman movie is coming out? That's potentially part of it. The Aquaman movie has to come out. And whatever you see in the Aquaman movie is part of the old world. But not necessarily. Because even though it's part of the old world, the old dimension, the Snyderverse, even though it's part of that, this is a new era, and they could very well have changed up what Aquaman is when the movie comes out so that he is in the new universe. And we don't know yet what they're going to do with that movie, why that movie has been moved a little bit, shuffled here and there, what changes they've done to this movie. But we do know that he has talked about working with Gal Gadot before. And he has talked, James Gunn has said that he looks forward to working with Gal Gadot. So that's the only real confirmation we've ever gotten from James Gunn. So all of these articles coming out saying, wait a minute, this isn't going to happen right away. They're taking from something that was said about they have no immediate plans for these characters. And if they don't have any immediate plans for some of the characters, then we can't look forward to them coming back to the screen right away. This doesn't, however, mean that they're not coming back at all. And I think that's where people are getting confused. I think that's where the major outlets are getting confused. Not to mention that even the major outlets are struggling for news right now, and they're looking at things and going, well, this was said and this was said, and we have to report on something. Maybe this movie isn't going to happen at all because this is what they said a couple months ago, and it hasn't changed. Nothing's actually changed. We don't know if this is going to happen or not. Gal Gadot says it is, but we haven't heard anything confirming it from James Gunn. And in fact, James Gunn said it very early on, said, I would love to work with Gal Gadot. Basically, he said, you know, he looks forward to working with her. He said that he was in talks with Henry Cavill, but that probably wasn't about Superman as you know him, but maybe him getting to play a younger older Superman down the line. Maybe that was a thing. He also had said that he was in contact with Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck kind of said that he wasn't interested in working with this project at all. So that you could cross off the window. But we do know that he's been interested in working with Jason Momoa, and him and Jason Momoa have been in talks. So is this really a thing that we need to worry about? Is this something that is going to not happen? Until you actually hear all of this from James Gunn, I don't think that this is anything that we really have to concern ourselves with, because we're looking at this through the eyes of a news right now that is struggling to get news stories out. We're struggling to get confirmation. Because James Gunn, being a writer on some of these projects, he isn't able to confirm anything right now. He really isn't able to say, hey, we're not working with Gal Gadot. We're not working with this. We're not doing this. And all of her interviews are pre-strike era for the actors. So what we're working with there is that even she cannot come out right now and say this isn't happening after all. So once this whole thing starts to go away, that's when you're going to get the real confirmation. That's when you're going to know one way or another what is going on. And until then, just take everything that everyone is saying with a little bit of a grain of salt. Because right now, nobody can comment on anything. Nobody can say anything. And it's kind of one of those situations. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Do you really want to see Gal Gadot come back? And if so, why? Do you want to see other people come back in maybe other roles, like Henry Cavill coming back as an older Superman? Do you want to see Jason Momoa continue as Aquaman? Let me know. All right, everybody. So we want to know what you guys think. So don't forget to leave us a comment in the comment box below. Make sure that you're sharing this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of the conversation as well. And then don't forget to hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel. We appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then, friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.